Ted Gullicksen, Director, San Francisco Tenants Union.
So there is a great turnout here today. So you talk about sort of how many people have come out, especially in the past ones and the ones today as well.
So we've had 5 neighborhood conventions, all of which had like really big turnout, hundreds of people at each one, and then today. There's too many people to count that we have, but it was pretty close to 500 people, I would say, who came out here. So we've had huge turnouts at all the events, and pretty much all of them we've had to turn people away because of fire capacity. And it's an indication of just how scared and concerned tenants are in San Francisco right now with the rents rising so much and evictions going up so sharply. People are like really scared right now.
So tell me about what started all of this.
Well, as last year, the tech boom, which is sort of causing the whole housing crisis, really sort of sank its teeth into San Francisco, and we saw evictions starting to go up exponentially month after month after month, just huge increases in evictions. And tenant groups who had been working together on some legislation at City Hall to get a condo moratorium decided that we needed to come up with a good unified strategy to address the housing crisis. And the strategy that we came upon was to put a measure on the ballot in November, something that we knew that we could get the voters to pass, that wouldn't be compromised at City Hall, that would be effective. And the process to find that ballot measure, we decided, would be a series of neighborhood tenant conventions followed by a citywide tenant convention. So at the neighborhood conventions, those were focused on tenants coming out and brainstorming possible solutions to the housing crisis and proposing actual pieces of legislation or concepts of legislation. And each neighborhood convention recommended 2 or 3 to the citywide convention, and then today the process was that we looked at those recommendations from the neighborhoods and we discussed them, and then at the end of the day people ranked them, and we with so many people and rank voting and all that, we won't know for days like the results of that, but so that will give us a indication of what our legislative agenda is this year, stuff we need to do. And one of them will be a ballot measure. We'll figure out which one makes the most sense as a ballot measure, and the others we'll pursue legislatively at City Hall.
And how historic is the event today?
We've had a number of tenant conventions over the years. This is probably, since I've been involved from back in the 80s, this is probably the 5th or 6th tenant convention. I think of all those tenant conventions, there were 2 like really big ones. Today, obviously, and back in 1992, there was a similar pretty big convention. But I think that this one was probably even bigger than the one in 1992, so it's pretty historic.